I viewed briefly the part 3 of day 3 on YouTube just now, and Bert had made the comment about not in defense of all you cunts, but if this is the way we were raised and this was the the social economic milieu we were part of, that's our reality, and this is the comfort zone and all that. And so I was listening to the example I gave about commitment and Klaus Kleinfeld when I'm in the wheelchair, and then because when I hugged my dad, and he had blood all over him, and the difference. And so I was going through that, and I was viewing some of the comments from some of the what I generically call London realers. They're not all London realers, but there's a lot of them certainly. And it made me think of a couple things. Number one, there's a fucking drug addict with his noodles. Now, Bert, what does that headline say in green?
Are the rich different?
You fucking A right, we are. Now, I wasn't raised rich, but we were talking about Donald Trump, who I have a lot of admiration for, and he's really not as big an asshole as everybody thinks he is, because he's a pretty good guy, and he does a lot of good stuff. His kids came out of a different social economic milieu than you did. Different background, different environment, all the things we've been talking about. And the next thing we're going to talk about is getting comfortable, creating your own personal foundation. Well, I think it was Oscar Wilde, or maybe it was, I don't know who said, but the rich aren't like you and I. And they're not. And depending on how many generations rich they are, like the Kennedys and stuff, Rockefellers and stuff like that, they're not. They have a different thought process. And we've had some wealthy people come through the program, all of which don't allow me to talk about their names, coincidentally. They're not up there. Now, when a couple of them die maybe here in the next 5 or 10 years, I'll my word that I gave them not to talk about them, I'll post them up on the...
Expires.
It expires. But what they think, and I was looking, and I have this on my desk, and this is a cup that I got in 1974 from Jim Newman when I went to his first seminar in Palo Mesa, California. And Pace, Jim Newman, a mentor, he wrote Release Your Brakes, and it's one of the books I highly recommend you read. And PACE stands for Personal Company Effectiveness, but PACE also stands for Positive Attitudes Create Excellence. But he had a theory, and it's not a theory, it's for sure. It's sure enough. And sure enough, what he meant by sure enough is that if you think it won't fucking happen, and I said it in a different way, it fucking won't happen. And if you think you're only going to make €1 million or £1 million or $1 million whatever, it's highly doubtful that you're going to make more than $1 million. And even though nobody cries for me because I set a goal for $2 billion and I fell $1.55 billion short in my goal to grow the company that I founded, what if I had only said that I was going to create a $500 million company? Yeah, well, I might have created a $500 million company, but it's more likely that I would have created a $50 million or $100 million company, whatever, some lesser number. And that's why when we talk about goals and affirmations tomorrow, set bodacious goals. Now, conventional wisdom or logic tells you don't set real high goals, because then when you don't reach them, you'll feel bad, and it'll affect your self-esteem. Well, when you don't set high goals, or when you set low goals, and you don't achieve them, what's the difference? It still affects your self-esteem. I'd rather your self-esteem be affected and you make $100 million than your self-esteem be affected and you only make $50,000. And if show me your friends and I'll show you your future, if the other people that you're associating with are of the same mindset, as opposed to being in a sports bar, belching and farting, watching the fucking, whatever you watch in a sports bar. I can never figure out I've been in a couple, and they got basketball, tennis, and all kind of shite all around. And I assume the theory is, or the business model, other than drink a lot, the business model is you watch the one that you want to watch for a while, and then you watch the other one, or I guess, I don't know. I've only been in a couple sports bars. And and I'm not saying sports bars are bad, but if you have friends that go to sports bars, the likelihood is you're not going to amount to much. And I'll take a lot of shit for that too, a lot of flack, but I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. Sure enough, that's what will happen, sure enough. You'll be a sports bar motherfucker, belching and farting. Now, there was as I said last night at dinner, sarcastically, I've seen 8 of you so far in private time, and The Naked City was a program. It used to be on TV a long time ago, where they said there's 8 million people and 8 million different stories. Well, so far we've had eight people and certainly 8 different stories. No question about that. One of which, and my wife was hearing, and she says, that just sounds like The Sopranos, for one of you. And which is what I commented as well when I was talking to this person. And so Sally asked me last night if it was a Sopranos story. And I said, guys, it's kind of. But you all have different deals, and you all have different baggage. But the operative part of my sentence that I just said is you all got baggage. Some people have baggage in a man purse. Is that what they call man purses? Yeah. Cunt purse to me, but anyway. And some of you got fucking, you're carrying the castle on your back. Most of you are closer to the castle end of the continuum for baggage than man purses.
They're also called fag bags.
Fag bags?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fag bags, okay. I never saw John Gotti carry one of those purses. John Gotti's a famous mafia guy from the 80s and early 90s. I think he's still in prison. And so my task, like Forrest Gump carrying Lieutenant Dan across to save him, even though they chopped his legs off, got his legs blown off, is to reduce that, or at the very minimum, make sure that those baggage you're carrying on your back doesn't grow, and over time is diminished. Now, I would be disingenuous and I would be a personal development line cocksucker if I told you that I could evaporate or get rid of all your baggage in this week. That would be a personal development life coach lie, because that's not going to happen. What I will do is point it. You already know it. You already know inside your hearts, what your problems are. And I define them. Instead of just saying it's all right, I pound on, I bring them up to light so you can see them 3D. So then you can deal with them. And then over the next 12 months, we learn through interface, through the weekly reports, and through the monthly conference calls, that when you hear the other guys in the group, when Igor hears Robert or Bert hears Scully, well, some of the things that'll go through your mind, well, fuck, I'm not that fucked up. I'm fucked up, but I'm not that fucked up. Now, I don't know who's the most fucked up in the room, because I've only talked to 80 of you. 80 U's, as they say up here. And you'll see, and you'll learn to deal with it. You'll learn to deal with it. Because right now, you're suppressing it. And one of the things about psychotherapy, the old-time psychotherapy, the new kind of psychotherapy is you go to, you pay a psychiatrist or psychologist, and you go to see him for 20 years, and he gets rich off you. The old-time psychotherapy, like Freud, a long time ago, they rip it out of you, And I'm an old time. That's why I say I'm part Freud, part Patton, part Jack Welch. I'm an old time. I rip it out of you. I don't suppress anything. I bring it right to the surface and we deal with it. And the sooner that you can deal with the things that have kept you from being successful, even though you've known about them subconsciously, you don't talk about them. And it's a learning process. But 12 months is enough. Is enough time. Is enough time. And remember, we don't share doubts, we don't share fears with anybody but your mentor. So when you have these things, don't talk to your wife, don't talk to your dad, don't talk to your mom, don't talk to your girlfriend, don't talk to your mistress, etc. Don't get on a fucking forum. That's what they call when you're talking. Don't get on a fucking forum. Don't get on a fucking blog. Don't do any of that shit. That's why people are sick that spend so much time on the internet. That's not cathartic. Cathartic is talking face to face about it. Cathartic isn't putting some bullshit in a forum or commenting on a blog. Movie last night. Klaus. What was the takeaway from Klaus?
Treat everyone with respect and make sure people aren't kissing up and kicking down because you don't see what goes on in the organization.
Amen. He's a consummate professional manager. Consummate. And if QLA worked for and he's a consensus, all the stuff he's not, that he is, I'm not. But it works. It works at both ends of the continuum. And Klaus is easily my most successful corporate superstar, who obviously has been here. And I know some of you are still concerned, notwithstanding I told you not to be concerned about it, that your personality isn't strong enough or more like Dan's is to go out and do this stuff. And Klaus and I have completely different personalities. He's got a strong personality, but he's not overt like I am.
I wouldn't want to talk with them, though.
No, you won't. That's a very accurate comment. Partially because I trained him, but that's partial. But I mean, he was going to be a star with or without me. I just helped him along, and we did it faster. And when you think he came to me as a middle manager and he became CEO of the 20th largest company in the world, that's heavy. And he takes his responsibilities. He took it, even though he's not there anymore. He's at Alcoa. He's chairman CEO of Alcoa. He takes his corporate responsibilities and the shareholders, and all that stuff and the corporate governance, all that stuff very seriously. A lot more seriously than I did. So he's a 21st century superstar manager, leader, and I'm happy and proud to call him my mentee. But when they wheeled me in the wheelchair to see him that day, Winneka straightened my head up and she pulled my ear like this. I still remember that. And you should remember the next time you're going to cancel a meeting, the next time you're going to, what do they call, shine it on? Is that the right? Yeah. Or say whatever. I don't know what that means when kids say whatever. The commitment and the levels of commitment. Okay, YouTubers, thank you.